What's up, RC hobbyists? Thank you for dropping into this episode of Hobby Drop. Today we're doing a little tire comparison. Let's take a look. All right, we've got the BFG Goodrich crawlers. Okay, these are a G8 compound tire. Now, these are also the West Desert Wheeler cut and shut version. The benefit of the cut and shut for this comparison is they're very similar size, just a little bit taller. You can see a little bit taller than these tires, which are the Vanquish VXT2s. All right. Now, the reason I wanted to do this comparison, these are the tires that come stock on the Stance, the VRD Stance RTR. These still have the dual stage foam in them and the wheels. We're going to pull these off and switch them over to here. So we're going to be running the same inserts and wheels, which is these squid inserts. Super nice. They're really, honestly, they're my go-to. They're my go-to. So we'll pull these apart and put them on here. But the reason I wanted to do these, you can see we're like the same height. These are really soft. These are really soft. So you can see I have actually driven the crawlers, the G8 crawlers, more times, more batteries, more miles than these tires here. And yet, look at this. They are like, they're similarly scrubbed in, and these are a much softer compound. So with this lightweight rig that I have here, I'm feeling like these are going to do, they're going to make a big difference. Now, something that's kind of interesting, if we're just looking at tread design, if you turn this tire at an angle, it's a very similar pattern, right? You got like four lugs. The difference being these are actually sitting at more of a diagonal. But I just thought that was kind of fun to point out. So without further ado, we're going to hit a couple obstacles. Now, in these obstacles, there's a couple things that I want to clarify, okay? This is very specific to my rig, my style of crawling, and the rocks I drive on, okay? So just know, right? If your terrain is different, if your the weight of your rig is different, all of those things are going to affect a tire preference. So this is just with my style, my rig. And it's not a perfect test. We don't have a lot of downhills. We don't have a lot of these other things. But for my rig, for my tuning, I think a thinner walled tire is going to give me the best results here. All right. So this first obstacle, it's an uphill with a side hill. Okay. So the key points to look for, like where I want you to watch, is that rear tire closest to the screen and the top tire closest to the screen. And by to the screen, I mean to your point of view. So we're looking at the right side on this obstacle. Okay, so take note. We're just to the right of the crack, pretty low here, with both the front and rear tire. So the top tire is hitting that little ledge and it's just getting slid off to the side. So on this run, we're gonna go high. So that front tire is above the crack and the back tire is above the crack. Now watch the front. Watch the front. We're getting a lift. We're driving along that little ledge, turning uphill. And the back tires kept their composure and we're able to get the climb. Now this side hill right here is no joke, but the crawlers are making it look easy. All right, so the crawlers got it done. Now we're looking at the Vanquish tires here. Now, again, watch the right side tires. Those are gonna be the storytellers for this obstacle. They're hitting that top crack, they're getting slid off to the side, and we're fighting, but ultimately just not enough grip there, so we slide off. Now we're coming a little high side. Now, the reason I wanted and thought these tires would do well is because of how soft they are. But just in these first few obstacles, it's making me question my theory. Okay, so right here we're getting ourselves in a good spot. We're starting really high, but then that crack, you can see our right tires on it, where we ended up going around that. And this, maybe it's a driving thing, maybe I needed to turn uphill a little sooner, but look at this, we've got it. Oh, and those rears just lose it. Now we're fighting for traction here. I thought maybe it'll get the pole, but ultimately it doesn't. But that was a really good shot. So we're taking another run at this. Similar story. Now watch these rears. Oh, just loses it. That one really surprised me. Okay, now this one is just, the key to this is getting the hook with those top tires. All right, so we can see here, working our way around with the crawlers. Slipping, 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 still slipping, a little more slip, and then they get the pole and up and over. Not too bad. Now switching tires here, I was nervous. Okay, wait for it, right here we're sliding, and I was like, oh frick, we're just gonna go off. But then they catch, they get the pole that we want. But this is where these tires should shine, because they're so soft. I feel like they should get a better pole. And we're slipping, we're slipping, we're slipping, but then they get the pole and pull up. Now, I felt like that was a little bit better than the crawlers. Let me know what you thought. So I decided, all right, let's run this again and see if we get a different result. That time, we didn't slide as far to the left, but then I was standing up too tall and we almost went over backwards. Similar position here, slipping, and then as soon as we work our way to the right, it gets the traction. So I feel like the Vanquish tires did a little bit better on that obstacle, but not by a whole lot. Okay, so this V-notch, man, this thing is tough. So the first thing that's required is to get the hook on the top of the left. Now we already did that here, and now there's a bump section. We hit the bump right here, lost it all, slid all the way back down. So we're taking a reset. This is that hook I'm talking about. That left tire has to grab that ledge and pull the rig up. So you can see we missed it the first time. We just missed it again right here. Clip into it. And there it goes. It gets the pole. And now we work, you crawl a couple of inches up and then it hits this bump zone. I've never had a rig, never had a set of tires, never had a setup that doesn't require a bump right here. Now, something I've noticed with the crawlers, they stay really composed when you hit some throttle. They keep traction and composure a lot better than the previous tires I've ran, like just the trenchers, the high racks. I feel like the crawlers really hold themselves together. But right here, this is just a line where you need to kind of just feel it out. You got to feel what the rig wants. And you can see right there with a little bit of work, we're able to find that and get the pole on up and out of this V-notch. That's a tough obstacle, okay? So switching tires, you can see we got to get that top hook working for it. It gets it. Now, I feel like that wasn't even quite the line, but they got the pole anyways. So I'm still on the train at this point about these tires. They're softer. They should conform and help grab little ledges and pull. And you can kind of see it there, but right here I'm fighting for traction, trying to get kind of squared up evenly on this ledge in preparation for a bump. So you can see, let's take the back up nice and easy. Give it throttle, shakes around, and drops off the line. So let's reset. You can see that left tire digging in. Look at those sidewalls. Now, these tires have a really thin sidewall, and it folds the tire a lot, which is kind of weird, but you can see right there, I'm just clipping right to it. We're bumping, 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 couldn't get the bump. I tried multiple times. I spent a lot more time on this obstacle with these Vanquish, what is it, VXT2 tires than the crawlers. I'm gonna divulge that right now. The crawlers did a lot better, but look at this sidewall. I don't love that. Now something I'm thinking is these tires may do better with a heavier foam. The squid inserts are designed to be really soft on the outer edge, but then the inner sidewall of the foam, well, not foam, the insert is very firm. Okay, so something to point out, I did have to give it a little shimmy. I had to help it out a little bit right here. So I do want to note that. Now we've switched over, we're into the crawlers again, and we're just crawling our way up this hill, and then we're gonna take a left right here. So you can see I'm trying to take the left, but at this angle, I can't quite tell what's going on. But we got up the hill. Now, look at this. This was blowing my mind. Okay, take a rewind. The crawlers went right up this, no problem. But we were hopping. Now, I did notice one of my links in the rear was a little discombobulated. So we got that fixed, came back the next day. So this is the next day, but look at this, same thing. I wanted to give it the fair shot. So I was like, dude, if that link is what's making it hop, that's no good. So we got that adjusted and we're making our way up, but we're hopping, we're sliding, we're just losing the line altogether. So I'm gonna climb up there and we'll work from there. So now picking back up on the crawlers, okay? So we had to back down to get into better position because you can see that ledge on the left is calling for some struggle. It slips out again. So we're gonna take another back up, try and hit this line again. This is a tough line. This is the entry obstacles to my Around the Horn video. So if you wanna see that whole trail, go check out the video Around the Horn. It's in a couple different playlists, but it is with this Poizd playlist. Now we also have this trail with the Vanquish stance, which is the truck that has, like these tires come off of the Vanquish stance, right? So you can see that, video to really see the difficulty of these trails. And specifically this one. Okay, so right there we get it to settle and we are over. Crawlers complete the obstacle. They got it done. Now jumping back over to the VXT2s. Fighting for traction. You know, they're getting it. We're making progress. It's squeaking along. Let's hit some bumps. We're struggling. Okay, we got a good bump. We're going high, but those rears slide out from under. Okay, so let's loop back over. You guys, now, these tires did not perform as well as I thought they would. They really didn't. The side hilling was killing these tires. They couldn't hold on these hot sandstone rocks. I'm wondering, again, if the dual stage foam that they come with is going to be a little more firm and allow them to hold, but you can see these squid inserts and these tires, they're not grabbing the traction we need. This is a steep hill. I want to show you this angle so you can see this is steep and the tires the sidewalls are rolling up, but it just doesn't quite do it.